It's a wet morning, but we're just about to go off to see Rupert from Conker Spirit and follow up from our last interview to see, talk to him about his new products, merchandising and so on. So it's going to be a fun interview again. See you in a bit. Just about to go in to see Rupert. Thank you, Rupert, for letting us come back and do a second interview. And I think a huge amount's happened since the last time we spoke.
When was it? I can't.
A few months back, just at the turn end of the summer. But I do have a bone to pick with you.
Right.
Because last time we came, there was something that you couldn't talk about, and you were kind of teasing us.
Yeah.
However, there was actually two things. You didn't tell me you were going to release 2 gin.
You've got to keep these things close to your chest, otherwise, you'll get... Yeah, it's good to... Well, we've had, as everyone probably knows, we've had one gin since launch in April 15. And then despite being asked what's next, we actually brought out the coffee last year, coffee liqueur. But we had one gin up until basically the end of November when we brought out 2.
Well, tell me about this bad boy.
Yeah.
Was it something that you wanted to make for you to drink, or did you find a demand for that particular
No,
drink?
no
did
one.
you want to carve out a premium space for your...
Yeah, we certainly didn't get asked, can you please do a port barrel gin? We get asked for things like sort of flavoured sweet stuff, which maybe one day, but we kind of...
There's far too many on the market.
There's too much, but for me it's about doing stuff that's like really gets me interested and is unique and kind of innovative. So, I've actually wanted to do a port barrel aged gin since right at the beginning, before we before we launched the Dorset Dry.
What was the thinking behind that? Why that drive?
Well, I discovered one from Portugal that you can't get over here, and it was just a really lovely. So aged gin, I'm not a big fan of properly oak aged gins that have been in the barrel for like a long time.
Yeah.
They can be a bit intense and you lose that kind of brightness from a gin, and it goes a bit towards the whiskey, but I always think you might as well just have a whiskey if it's that style. Whereas this has just been rested in the barrel for 8 weeks.
Okay.
So what that means is you just get the hint of the barrel, so you get that hint of vanilla and oak, sort of slightly woody tannins, but it's just this kind of like perfume of the barrel, I suppose. And then all that pink is from the port that was in the wood of the barrel.
Yeah.
It's just a really lovely. It's all subtle, basically, rather than being too intense. So you got the kind of Dorset. So the Dorset Dry went into the barrels. So that's the kind of dry but quite bright and tasty gin part. And then you've got a bit of sweetness and fruitiness from the grape that's in the barrel. And then there's like notes of vanilla and oak. And it's good. It's really tasty.
The port barrels, where did you get them from?
So they're from a port house in Porto. We're not allowed to know which port house they are.
I was going to say, you could always...
Yeah, they're a bit precious actually. It was actually really hard to get hold of port barrels. Okay. Ex-whiskey barrels and stuff, we get sort of...
There's a huge market of like all the barrels going to their port, go there and back.
Yeah, second-hand barrels is quite a massive thing, but we had to hunt pretty hard to find port barrels. So we just got hold of, the first time around we got hold of 4, we've got 8 coming. Well, they should be here now, but because of all the stuff from France, they haven't turned up.
Once they've been used once, is that it? What do you use them again?
Yeah, because it's kind of a one-time thing. I mean, you could rest it in there again, but it wouldn't be this pink, and it'd be more of a kind of oak-led kind of flavour.
Okay.
So it's a one-time thing. So the plan is they're arriving any minute, these 8 barrels, and then we're going to film it'll be in 8 weeks. So basically he's hoping to join the market again in sort of February, late February.
You can't obviously guarantee flavour profiles.
No, it might be a bit different, but it'd still be. We test each barrel. So if we had like a bad barrel, then it wouldn't go in. But it should be okay. And you can get it when the barrels arrive with us. There's port in them already. There's a little kind of few litres of port at the bottom sloshing about, so you can get a really good feel for whether the port was still good or whether it oxidised. So it generally worked really well. Yeah.
Any future venture into a different kind of finish? Or is that
barrel wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, I love a rye whiskey, so it'd be nice to see how a rye would play with it.
Okay. There's a new forest rye, isn't there?
Is there?
Is there the new forest whiskey? I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Before this one just done.
Yeah. So yeah, it's endless really. But I mean, this is just a lovely kind of nod to that fruity gin, but just it's a real sipper over ice, but equally it's a really.
I haven't tried it yet, so I'll buy one a few.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so on to the second thing that you've
yeah, this was the big secret, like I didn't tell anyone about.
Yeah.
So
how did that collaboration come about?
So the RNLI, yeah. I mean, we again, funny. I've had these sort of in the back of my mind from really early on.
Day one.
Yeah, day one, in the sense of, wouldn't it be amazing to work with the RNLI? Because I love the RNLI. I kind of grew up.
History with sailing?
Yeah, sailing, windsurfing, and generally just being in the sea, like through the summer months. Because I grew up kind of on the coast. My family had a little beach hut that we used to just go, basically spend 6 months of the summer in the sea. So I grew up around Mudford, lifeboat, going in and out of the harbour every day.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a very kind of, front of mind thing that I've had. And basically a year ago, because we've done a lot with the RNLI, we'd go and do their market, their kind of Christmas markets, and I did a talk at their innovation day where they get all their departments together and they talk about all the innovation they're doing for the rest of the year. I did a little chat about Conker and met the guy who does the licensing of the RNLI product licensing, brand partnership type things, and said, how do you fancy combining forces on a gin that raised money on every bottle sold, so £5 on every bottle goes to the RNLI, and also you can use Conker as a platform for your messaging and actually that was the thing that they were most, and I was quite sort of taken aback really. They really saw the value of working with us, whereas I saw the value of working with them. Yeah. They were like, we'd love to work with you. We can reach your audience, use your social media platforms, etc. And so it's great. So although we haven't done much of that yet, because there's a lot of organisation in the new year, we'll be sort of helping them put across the sort of stuff they want to be talking about, which is great.
So for the viewers at home, what does a Navy strength gin mean?
Yeah, well, it's a bit ambiguous really, the kind of origins of a Navy strength. There's a lot of like mythology and stuff.
Gunpowder and so on.
Yeah, exactly. But I think basically a Navy strength gin is 57%, which I think, from what I've read, is the percentage alcohol that when mixed with gunpowder it will burn like with a clear smoke or will burn easily. Right. So basically back in the day when gin was on Navy ships or ships generally, they would to stop people diluting the spirit, they would test it with gunpowder, if that makes sense. Yeah. So they would know if it had been diluted below that Navy strength. Yeah. That's the kind of story. I don't know whether that, well, maybe they just like strong gin, I don't know.
I had one of these made up as a dry martini in the library of liquor, and I can tell you, it deserves some respect when you drink it. So how do you drink it all?
So, to be honest, it's made for a G&T. I mean, it's a martini and the like. It would probably be a fantastic. It is a stronger product, but so for us, we're just saying, just put less, just have a single G&T. Honestly, to God, we've had a lot of people say, I've converted from the Dorset Dry. So in flavour, because there's more spirit, more sort of alcohol in the product, we've bolstered that with a load more juniper, and that's the traditional thing of a Navy. A few gins will just repeat their recipe and put it stronger. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to make it, there's a lot more juniper present, and then we back that up with lots of sort of interesting sort of herbaceous fruit. So Seville orange peel, the elderberries from the Dorset Dry, and then also the marsh samphire. And they just sweeten it and make it quite jammy and quite oily and luxurious. It's really lovely.
When I had it as a dry martini, the kind of mouthfeel was quite different. It was very, very creamy, very milky. Yeah. And it was really strange, but
it is
slowly.
It is absolutely delicious, I think. Like really, you can take bites out of it in a G&T. It's really, really something. And it's a different. So there's no gorse flour in this. There's no gorse from the local cliff tops. Okay.
Because Seville Orange, was that in the original recipe?
Yeah, so it's the Dorset Dry is 10 botanicals. This is 9, and all we've done is taken away the gorse.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a delicate flavour and it gets lost, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then we've changed, the botanical ratio is totally different as well.
Okay. So, aside from the new gins, you've had things like new packaging,
Yeah.
the bottle design, and also the merchandise, like the glassware. So,
Yeah.
as a small business owner, how in depth to the finer detail do you control this?
Massive
ideas come up with you?
Like details.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I basically designed this, pulled it all together, found the manufacturer with the glassware, which actually uses, I don't know, your friends can see this, but this is design here, which is wrapped around our glassware. It's all. I kind of have quite a kind of creative, sort of almost like a creative director role in a funny kind of way with Conker, because that's where I get really excited. Is like curating the brand and the design and every aspect from. So this year we've produced new bespoke bottles, and we've agonised over this design and actually bespoke embossed bottles was something I wanted from day one, but totally inaffordable. But yeah, everything, like, so here we've got the map of Dorset wrapping around the back of the bottle. Yeah, so I got an old map of Dorset from my brother for my birthday once, and we basically had it redrawn from this guy in Brighton. And it's just got this lovely old feel about it with the contours of the sea, and then we put there's a little tiny copper sea in there where the distillery is, and that's a tiny little detail. And for us, that's what it's all about. It's about those things that you discover when here and you go, oh, that's interesting.
So these ideas all originated from you? There's no external agency?
No.
I guess that's where the fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're actually, so at the moment I do it all myself, which as you can imagine is a bit, kind of quite a lot for me to do with everything else. So actually next year, this is a big reveal.
Right.
We're going to be bringing in all the design in-house with a kind of head of brand. So we're going to bring in the creative in-house so that we don't have to liaise with people outside of the company to kind of get stuff actually pulled together.
Yeah.
So which will hopefully make us loads more efficient, and we can do more of this kind of stuff without the need for me to be doing it all, really, because there's like so much stuff I need to do.
So there's been a lot going on since the summer.
Oh yeah.
Has this been kind of 12 months in the planning, or 18 months?
12 months, yeah. So this time last year we had a meeting and we said, right, by the time next year, so 2018, we want new bespoke bottles. And that's the clear bespoke for both sizes, 700 and 350. And then we've also put the coffee into an amber brown bottle, which makes it just look so. It looks like it's existed for like hundreds of years. It's like such an authentic little bottle now. New website that we launched literally last week, which now you can just see everything we do. You can go and chuck your postcode in and find a local stockist, and if you don't have any within half an hour drive, then you can just get it straight from us. We've done some sort of boring stuff like create our own office. We've put Salesforce in place, which means we can talk to our customers and manage our data better. Really dull, but it makes us into a proper company. Glassware, and brought out the miniature for the Dorset Dry, and we've launched 2 new products. One of which was like a year's worth of conversations with the RNLI to get it. It's a very contractual thing, as you can imagine. So yeah, it's been a mega year. Really mega year.
So these miniatures, are they going to end up on an airline somewhere?
That would be good. That would be good. We're going to put the coffee into the miniature in the spring as well. Yeah, basically it's just you go from one year to the next going, what would I love to have done this year? And then you kind of go, right, let's look towards the next year and try and get it all in place.
But 2018 has been fantastic, hasn't it? Has it exceeded your expectation?
Yeah, it has. I mean, we've grown. So last year there's about 4 of us or so, and we were all in this room. So there was desks all jam packed in this room last year, and now we're in this office next door, which has 10 desk spaces. There's 8 of us downstairs. We've got 3 or 4, some part-time, some full-time, bottling and labelling gin and coffee and port gin. And we've Waitrose and M&S as well this year, I believe. They weren't. We didn't have those last year. So again, those are really great big things for us.
So what can we expect from you in 2019? Anything you can hint at?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting our big stills in. So we're going from we've got 2 60-litre stills, and I'm currently working out how to buy a 1,000-litre still.
Right.
And we're buying them from a company called Forsyths in Scotland, who've made whiskey stills for the last 300 years.
So with these new stills you've mentioned, are they going to fit in here? They're quite big?
Yeah, so they're a big kind of 1,000-litre Willy Wonka style piece of kit, which we'll be installing here, hopefully in the new year around sort of August, September time. But yeah, that'll completely change how we do things here. We can rather than putting the stills on every single day, and we can put them on perhaps once or twice a week, and then we'll have that spare capacity to explore other spirits. So it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. So yeah, there's that. Hopefully that will mean we can open our doors to tours. I think products-wise, I'm not sure whether we'll bring out a new product next year. I think we'll give our RNLI Navy Strength some space to grow, and we'll also bring out further editions of this. So in February, people will be able to pre-order their gin whilst it's still in the barrel.
Yeah. Batch 2?
Yeah, so batch 1 here. So batch 2 will be sort of end of February, and what we're going to do is on the website and allow people to sort of reserve their bottles whilst it's still aging in the barrel, which will be really great, and they'll know what barrel it's from and that kind of thing. And then I'm going to try and do some export.
When are you going to have a holiday?
Yeah,
big holiday.
In a few days. It's the 24th. Yeah, we'll have a couple of weeks off over Christmas. But yeah, I mean, I do, because I've built a team now of 8. I had 2 weeks off in the summer where I didn't do any work, and so I do actually. If I'm not here, the gin happens.
You went to Africa as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
On a coffee trail. What was that like?
Yeah, so that was. It's a bit of a corny cliche, but it was kind of like life adjusting going to a place like even southern Ethiopia. Just the the kind of vastness and beauty, and also contrast. If you fly into Addis Ababa, it's quite sort of dusty desert, and then by the time you're in the coffee plantations in the highlands, it's like luxurious forest, and there's piles of mangoes at the side of the road if you get by.
Okay.
So it's a really mad place. And kind of third world as well, mud huts, straw roofed huts. But the best thing about it was the people. They're so incredibly happy and helpful and welcoming. And then going to the coffee farms themselves, like to call them a farm is kind of gives the wrong impression. Like actually, when I arrived at our coffee sort of plantation, it was within the canopy of the forest. And actually, you would think it was just wild forest, but actually, if you focus, there's like coffee plants dotted up all over the place. So it's grown like in these like semi-wild conditions.
So it's not like a cleared farm.
No, it's not like a vineyard of coffee plants. It's just and it's all hand picked and then hand turned in the sun for 20 days. It's what they call like grade 1 coffee, which puts it in like the top 90% of all coffees in the world, and it's basically the best coffee you can buy. It's like it would fit in any of the trendiest, coffee shops. It's the good stuff, which makes Conker Cold Brew taste that really beautiful, slightly sweet, like vanilla caramels and slightly citrusy flavours. And it is literally coffee, water, our distilled spirit, and sugar, and that is it. So yeah, you've got to get to. We basically found out to get those flavours across, you need to use those sorts of coffees, the kind of real top notch.
Thank you, Rupert, for
pleasure
for another interview, and Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas to you. See you in the new year when we've got something else up our sleeve, or maybe when we're doing our release of the next batch of port barrel, we can talk about them, have a look at them.